Hey friends, welcome. And today we're going to talk about why manifesting stops working. And we're going to talk about ice cream and we're going to do some intuitive art. You are invited today into Lucid Play and I'm so glad that you're here. Let's do it. So yesterday, about midday, I was ready for a break. And I was thinking coffee or ice cream. Now, ice cream is not something that I have very often, but for some reason, the treat of it just was calling to me. So I went to my husband, I'm like, coffee or ice cream? I knew he was going to choose ice cream. So fortunately, we live in this very walkable, cute neighborhood with an amazing ice cream shop called Cone Flower. Num. And so we put the dog on the leash. We walked out the door to go to Cone Flower ice cream. Super excited, super looking forward to a nice break, a little sugar rush. And I got the brown butter toffee cone in a waffle cone. All things seeming super yum, yum, yum. And when we got out of the ice cream shop, my husband said, "Oh, turn right and we'll walk around the block." Now my brain was like, "Oh, well that kind of makes sense. We'll burn some calories while we eat our ice cream," right? And for a moment it's like, "Okay, well, let's do that." So we started to walk around the block and it actually was super sunny and it was kind of hot. My ice cream started melting faster than I was eating it, which made it kind of not so pleasant. And then the dog needed to have a little rest break. And now I had to pick up doggy doo while holding ice cream in my other hand. Not horribly pleasant. We went up the hill. Now I'm breathing hard, trying to eat my ice cream, going around the block. and I thought, I don't like multitasking my ice cream eating. It became a super meh experience. I was not happy about it. Finished my ice cream as we got back home, and I was disappointed instead of delighted, which is where we started. And this is really a super fascinating micro look at manifesting, because these are the little things that we do to ourselves. We choose joy. We choose the thing we want to manifest. We're hanging out in the joy. Then we have a logical upgrade because we're like, your brain steps in and we're like, "Ooh, let's do that." And then it seemed like a good idea and then it stops working. The joy is gone. And it's not that anything has really changed. We've made a subtle shift out of alignment. Let's look at the things that your mind likes to really do. It likes to optimize, improve, make more efficient, make sense with everything else and everyone else that's in your world. And yet that's not always the thing that's in alignment, because suddenly those are the things that make it not work. And it's not because the desire was wrong or that the brain was wrong. It's that we've moved out of the present moment and into management. I am management, right? I get to be now management of this situation. And we stop being present and go into control. We're trying to control the outcome and experience, and that negates any possibility of the delight to continue to flow in. So let's just switch over cameras here, and we're going to talk about a little bit of intuitive art while we walk through the rest of this in your life. So here we are actually, this is my intuitive art notebook, and I'm going to turn back actually to another page. Here we go, to January 1st of this year. And on January 1st of this year, I walked through my passions once again. I like to do that at least once a year to look at it. And I came up with joyfully moving my body in my family love cocoon, living creatively in community, best-selling children's author, thought leader, causing world joy. Those are all amazing things, right? Those are all cool things. And yet to move them then into action or into measurableness, I then made a list of signposts. Where do they go? And I want to talk about this one, living creatively in community. And we're going to flip over to this one. And this is a little drawing that I did here about that. And I know it looks kind of like scribbles, but this is the point of intuitive art. And we're going to move over here and I'm going to talk for a minute about intuitive art, because intuitive art, actually, I learned originally from my intuition, but then I found this amazing woman named Rachel Archelaus, who created intuitive art as a process. And she also made this really cool oracle deck. So I will put her link below because she's super cool. I took all of her training in that, and I want to show you a little process in this today, and you can walk along with me. So it's about having all my colors and crayons here. And then I've actually, you can see my list here of what I've made every color mean. So we're going to talk really specifically about this desire of mine. And I want you to think of a desire that you have, something that you are looking to manifest, but somehow it is not flowing in. Like it seems to continually be blocked. And so we're going to stand there and enjoy it, right? We're going to stand in this space. And when I made that list of things that were part of living creatively in community, I had things like teaching, physically going to space, creative spaces. I had creating art itself and creating art for me. And as I walk through each one of those, so I'm going to start just coloring as we go along. And I found that some of those held more juice than others. And I found also that some of them were exciting and some of them were shoulds. And so I want to then look at living creatively in community. Need from me today. This is this presence inside of there, right? Instead of trying to fix then what I want this to look like, let it appear and be in the moment. So I'm going to look at these. This is a super fun way then to look at the deeper message for me today. So now I'm going to look at each of the meanings of each of these colors that I randomly chose and put on the page. And we're going to look for some meaning inside of this to be present specifically with living in creatively in community. And what am I inspired to do about that, right? So I want you to think about, what is the thing that you're looking to manifest and how can we be in the moment on it, right? What is the thing for you right now? So this color for me, it means sky's the limit, unlimited. This color here for me is certainty. This one is powerful, or power. This one is to create with spirit. And this one is expansion. Actually, more specifically, powerful expansion. So as I look at what this is telling me inside of this, is that in living creatively in community, really, I could imagine anything. And yet there is kind of a box that fills that whole thing, that anything's possible. And these little lines of certainty on the side for me say that's a frequency. That's a frequency I can step into. And when I show certainty, this power center shows up. The basis of that then for me is creating with spirit and then letting that flow through the power to make expansion. So, what am I inspired to do? What are you inspired to do about this as you think about breathing into your center? What do you think about your power, about being present? Maybe just like the ice cream, right? Let's be present. Let's be present and enjoy the ice cream without having our mind step in. What would it take then to stay in the moment? Is say, I choose. I can follow myself because I trust myself, and I can hold that space, right? And so maybe it is about this moment of just enjoying the ice cream. Just enjoy the feeling of what it feels like, the thing that you desire. Stay there a little longer, just a little bit longer, and see what rolls out of that. This is how manifesting turns back on again. Staying in the joy. Thank you so much for joining me today for Lucid Play. And I would love to hear how that hit you. And if there's anything that you would like to do more with intuitive art, if there's more that you'd like to do with presence, what really is calling you forth? Have a beautiful week, and we'll see you next time.